The majority of the time, when we see a person built like the Hulk and making comments like getting swole, the first thing we think is, yep, he's juicing. While at places like the gym, it is annoying to see these muscleheads strutting around, but in athletics, PED and steroid use can be game changing. As of now, any PED or steroid that you think of is illegal to be used by any professional at sport. After looking into this issue further, should athletes be allowed to use these substances? After being involved in sports throughout my life, and after further researching this topic from credible sites, I believe that I am prepared to further discuss this topic. While most of us are not, in fact, professional athletes, there are many of us who enjoy watching these athletes on the field or court. Each of these fans often have their own opinion about this topic at hand. I will first start off by defining what exactly a steroid and PED is, and I will list a few of the most common ones that are used in the sports world. Using this information that I find, I am going to both challenge and defend the restrictions that many athletes face about using these substances. To be able to completely understand the side effects of PEDs and other steroids, it is important to know what these drugs are and what is available to athletes. So, what are PEDs and which ones are the most commonly used in the sports world? When it comes to the sports world, there is an endless variety of substances that are available to athletes, with each one having its own purpose. About Health states that steroids are organic substances meant to be used for treatments of various health deficiencies. PEDs are often compared to as steroids. However, they are meant solely as a method to increase a person's athletic abilities. Momaya states that HGH, creatine, blood doping, and anabolic androgenic steroids are some of the commonly used substances by athletes. Many athletes use steroids or PEDs to get better at their sport, but how do steroids contribute to this? Savescu states that anabolic steroids have been proven to increase a person's muscle mass by up to 5 to 20%, and many other substances often have similar effects on a person's endurance and strength. Now, you all have some insight to what a steroid does to a person and why it is an appealing option for many athletes to help make a name for themselves. Now that we understand more about PEDs and steroids, we will look at the negative effects they have on athletes that use them. There are many reasons as to why steroids are currently banned in professional sports. Two big reasons are that they can be dangerous to the person who uses them, and people find them as an unfair advantage and unethical. If we allow steroids to be used by professional athletes, then we will be putting many of our favorite athletes at risk of serious health issues, both in the present and in the future. Momaya states that anabolic androgenic steroids can cause many side effects that can either be minor or major issues. These include acne, testosterone hormone decrease, infertility, cardiovascular disease, and injection area pain. These are only a select few, and there are many more consequences of using steroids. Momaya also states that the majority of newly developed enhancers are created strictly to provide an edge and evade protection. They are not efficiently tested and lack medical authorization to be distributed. So, what about athletes in the past? How do we know that they didn't use these substances themselves? Would safe steroid use improve how the game is played by creating more entertainment for the fans? Think of all the star athletes of the past: Hank Aaron, Magic Johnson, and Bo Jackson. They were all great athletes and can be considered as some of the greatest who have ever lived. But they would have been considered average when compared to a current star athlete that is using PEDs or steroids. Savescu states that, what kind of message does steroid use send? This need for substance use in substitution of excessive training encourages a new generation of poor morals and lazy athletes. Steroids can be harmful to those who use them, and also harmful to the events that they are used for. However, steroids and PEDs have the capability to change both professional sports and competition as we know it. Steroid use, if properly implemented in professional sports, could actually attribute many benefits to both the entertainment of the sport for the viewer and for the athlete. If properly used, steroids can be less dangerous as depicted. The British Journal of Sports Medicine states that many steroids are available by prescription, including many of the anabolic steroids are, in fact, legal to use. Why, if steroids are so dangerous, are only 5 to 15% of athletes being tested for them, if 5 to 31% of athletes are believed to be using PEDs. The British Journal of Sports Medicine also states that a better way to combat unsafe side effects of steroids is not to outlaw all of them, but to do a better job of outlawing only the dangerous ones. How do we know that past athletes did not use steroids? Would safe steroid use improve the spirit of the game by creating a more entertaining product? Momaya states that ancient Olympic and Roman gladiators used herbs and other mushrooms to enhance performance during combat. Savescu states that the German Olympic swim team of 1976 won 11 of 13 events, creating both great excitement and enthusiasm within the country. Many things, including steroids, could benefit both athletes and sports as a whole if utilized responsibly. Though the use of steroids can display unwanted outcomes, there would be some benefits of allowing only professional athletes to use them. Steroids and PEDs, though different, often have the same effect of improving an athlete. By legalizing steroid use in sports, it can help us to better understand the effects of steroid use and improve the enjoyment of watching sports as a whole. However, this also potentially puts our favorite star athletes in danger from health risks. Professional sports have been around for a long time, and during that time, many different performance enhancers have surfaced. These substances can be destructive, but they can also be beneficial for the future of sports competition. I will ask the audience to answer the following question for themselves about PEDs and steroids. Can steroid use be deemed safe and fair to be allowed in sporting events?